Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about episode 8 of Star Wars The Bad Batch, the episode entitled Reunion. And before going any further, I need to mention that there will be spoilers in this review, so if you haven't watched this episode, then you probably shouldn't be watching this video unless you really want to be spoiled. With that out of the way, let's get on with the review. This episode begins at the cloning facility on Kamino, where we find General Rampart and the Kaminoan Prime Minister talking. Crosshair enters the room and informs them that Clone Force 99 has been discovered on the planet Braca. Rampart orders them to be terminated, in spite of objections from the Prime Minister. Next, we cut back to Braca, where we find Wrecker teaching Omega a valuable skill, disarming explosives. Echo joins them, and they proceed back to the cruiser. While en route, they discover they are being spied upon by the Scrapper Patrol. They engage with them and successfully knock them out. Back at the cruiser, Hunter convinces the group that they should try to salvage as many assets as they can from the cruiser in order to pay off their debt to Sid, which is considerable since they botched the mission to acquire that tactical droid back on Corellia. So they proceed back inside in order to gather weapons and explosives from the armory. Omega eventually joins Tech on the bridge of the ship, where they hope to download the intel from the ship's memory. Omega notices a blinking light on one of the panels, which is the proximity sensor, and within seconds we discover that Imperial ships are closing in on their location. Meanwhile, back on Kamino, we see the Kaminoans discussing their contingency plan and their concern over what is happening on Braca. It is then revealed that they hired bounty hunters to retrieve Omega, which would explain why we saw Fennec Shand in the previous episode. Back on Braca, we find Crosshair and his elite squad, plus 3 attack shuttles full of regular clone troopers deploying on the surface. So the Batch is in deep trouble now. They successfully avoid one of the scouting groups, but by this time their ship has already been discovered and a perimeter established around it. Tech taps into the comm system and learns that the route to the hangar is compromised, so they must find another path through. They cut through the artillery deck, but are soon cornered since Crosshair anticipated their moves based on his own personal experience with them. And we soon learn how Crosshair has fallen into savagery as he orders his troops to target Omega. As a diversionary tactic, Tech and Echo tap into the weapons control and they fire the big guns, which causes the whole artillery deck to fall apart. They fight their way past a bunch of clones and look for an escape route through the ship's ion engine. As they reach the end of the engine, they find themselves pinned down once again as Crosshair has them in his sights. He orders his troops to engage the engine in an attempt to incinerate them before they can escape. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, they enact a desperate plan to place explosives around the perimeter of the engine cone and cause it to break off and fall away. This plan miraculously works, and as a result, a huge blast from the engine hits Crosshair, injuring him badly. Hunter and Omega get separated from the rest of the batch, but they agree to rendezvous back at their ship. When the two arrive, they discover that the clones guarding the ship have been wiped out, and a bounty hunter is responsible. It's Cad Bane, and those of us who have seen the Clone Wars series are very familiar with this character. He's come for Omega, which leads to a Western-style gunslinger standoff between Bane and Hunter, which, unfortunately, Hunter loses. Omega gets stunned and taken. The episode ends with a wounded Hunter being pulled onto the ship by the others as they fight off the attacking clone troopers. Overall, I thought this episode was amazing. The inevitable face-off between the Batch and Crosshair was dramatic and action-filled, and the surprise twist of Cad Bane showing up was thrilling to see. I mean, what an awesome cliffhanger to leave us with. And basically, it just leaves you pumped to see the next episode, because things just got real in terms of the tension by placing our heroes in such dire circumstances. That's pretty much all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more reviews of Bad Batch episodes, think about subscribing because I will be covering all the episodes of this series on my channel. So until next time, I hope you're having a great day, and may the Force be with you. Thanks for watching.